Episode 11 begins at the Dreamland amusement park, where children are playing, and the Dr. Lee is also present. Then we see a flashback from 10 years ago when Young-ho came to meet the Dr. Lee at medical school. He gives her a diary and a handkerchief of her mother and apologizes for taking so long to find her. In the diary, the Dr. Lee sees a photo of herself and her mother. She then asks Young-ho how he knows her and her mother. Young-ho tells her that he used to work at her mother's restaurant. When the doctor asks where her mother is, we understand that this is where Young-ho must have told her everything that happened with her mother. Then we return to the present. Dr. Lee at Aina's house. Dr. Lee is saying that Aina no longer needs therapy as remembers whose face she had seen that day. At this, Aina says that she must have been enjoying watching her suffer, watching her doubt herself and struggle to recall her memories. But the doctor disagrees and tells her it's not true. In fact, it's the complete opposite. She encourages Aina, saying she did well and come a long way. Then Aina asks if her next victim is the assemblyman Kim, but the Dr. Lee instead asks her to come with her, saying she will tell everything. At this point, Aina still doesn't know who is the last victim of Dr. Lee in the last puzzle piece, and she wants to find out, so she agrees and leaves with the doctor. As they both sit in the car, Aina gets a call from Kim. Dr. Lee asks for the Aina's phone and the doctor throws the phone out the window so the Dr. Lee can't be interrupted. Kim is worried and tells the captain that he's unable to contact Aina. She had gone to collect some documents. Meanwhile, the Dr. Lee tells Aina that when she used to kill, no one ever really cared about why the victims were killed or what the puzzle meant, so she had stopped murdering 10 years ago. Then, Aina appeared the same girl the Dr. Lee had once spared as a child during one of her murders. Aina asks why the doctor didn't kill her back then, to which the doctor replies, because Aina did nothing wrong and why would she kill Aina? Aina brings up Young-ho, who died because of her. But Dr. Lee says she didn't shoot him, and then we see Young-ho returning the handkerchief that belonged to Dr. Lee's mother, which she had left at the crime scene. Young-ho had come to return it, because he wanted Dr. Lee to leave past behind and live a normal life. That's why he had protected her for so long. Young-ho told her to live a life away from all these murders. Dr. Lee then asks Young-ho whether the things he does for the orphanage children will really change anything. Young-ho says yes and tells her she too deserves to live a real life. But the Dr. Lee replies, it's too late now and Young-ho should continue doing his work and shouldn't interrupt her work. Even then, Young-ho keeps trying to convince her. He tells her he knows her life has been hard, but it's still not too late to change. But the doctor insists she chose this life for herself and she will take her revenge, no matter what. Young-ho begins to cry and blames himself, saying that if he hadn't looked for her, none of this would have happened. He says it's all his fault, he started all this, and now he will end it by telling the world what really happened to Dr. Lee and her mother. That's why, perhaps, Young-ho wanted to hold a press conference. But Dr. Lee tells Young-ho, she doesn't want that, she doesn't want Young-ho to do any of it. In the present, Dr. Lee is telling all this to Aina. Aina wonders aloud if none of this would have happened had Young-ho not searched for her or worked with her mother. But Dr. Lee denies it, saying the story had to be written this way, and this is exactly how it was meant to unfold. At that moment, Kim arrives at the Aina house looking for her and finds her phone lying on the floor. Then we see Kim, who is asking the detective San for the location of Aina's car, trying to find out where they've gone. The detective San suspects that Aina might have been kidnapped, but Kim says that Aina has nothing to do with the puzzles. After checking the car's location, Kim realizes that they are headed to one city, the place where everything had started and where it's now about to end. We then see the Dr. Lee arriving at one city. She parks the car and asks Aina, was there no other path Dr. Lee could have taken? To this, the Dr. Lee replies, there were no other paths. None of them ever apologized, not even once. They could have asked for forgiveness for their mistakes, but they didn't. They made their mistakes and simply moved on, as if nothing had happened. Aina then asks where the victim is. The doctor tells her to go to the Myung's apartment. Aina rushes off. Meanwhile, the police also reach One City Apartments. Aina enters the apartment, expecting to find the next victim. She calls out, but no one responds. Instead, she finds some clothes, and inside them, there's an envelope. When she opens it, she finds a puzzle piece, but this one is completely black. She doesn't understand what it means. She then looks out the window and sees the assemblyman falling. At the same time, the police are approaching the apartment. The assemblyman falls right in front of Kim, blood splattering on his face. It appears someone pushed him from the top of the building. Aina runs to the rooftop, but sees no one there. Kim soon joins her and asks, "Where is the Dr. Lee?" Aina replies, she doesn't know. Kim gets angry, scolding her for trusting the Dr. Lee. Aina explains that she thought she could stop the Dr. Lee from committing another murder, but clearly, she couldn't. Aina looks helpless and upset, saying that maybe the Dr. Lee only wanted to see her powerless face. She then shows Kim the puzzle piece, which was the last one. But even Kim doesn't understand its meaning. Why was it completely black? Aina then says maybe it represents the market fire that turned everything to ashes. That might be what the piece is showing. Then we see the Dr. Lee in a taxi, headed somewhere. Next, we see Aina and Kim in a car. Kim is explaining how the redevelopment project was started by Yunsu, and they only cared about pushing their own agenda. He says that Chi-Mok was also involved. Aina asks Kim about her uncle's involvement as she's getting emotional, but Kim initially avoids answering. Eventually, he says that maybe her uncle was offered a promotion or money in exchange. Then Aina shares something that her uncle was given 3 apartments in one city to cover up the case. He bought them in Aina's name, and later sold all 3 to buy a luxury house, the one where Aina now lives, and where her uncle was murdered. Aina also adds that her parents were also involved in the development project. Now she's wondering just how far this will go. We see Kim and Aina discussing the case, trying to figure out who the next victim might be, the one shown in the final puzzle piece. Aina realizes that it's no longer related to the Shindonga market. Both of them try hard to think, but they're unable to figure it out. Then they wonder, where could the Dr. Lee go? Where would her story end? Where would she stop? They carefully examine the puzzle piece again and realize that the background shows a set from Dreamland, the place where the Dr. Lee lost her mother. Just as they're trying to understand what the black puzzle piece means, Kim gets a call from the detective San. The detective San tells him that the Dr. Lee took a taxi from one city. He tracked down the taxi driver, who said he had dropped her off outside a funeral home where Young-ho's body is. Kim rushes toward the funeral home while Aina heads to Dreamland. Kim arrives at the funeral home and checks the CCTV footage, where they see the doctor standing outside the funeral home for half an hour, even in the rain. She didn't go inside, she just stood there. Kim begins to wonder if she came to the funeral home, why didn't she go in? Meanwhile, we see Aina arrive at Dreamland. She looks around, and then spots the doctor sitting on a swing, holding a bottle of poison. The Dr. Lee says she was waiting for Aina. Aina pleads with her not to commit suicide, saying she's not a coward. But the Dr. Lee narrates that she had once sat on this very ride with her mother the day she got lost. She talks about the last time she came to Dreamland with her mother. She had waited here, thinking her mother would come looking for her. She believed her mother had abandoned her on purpose, not knowing that her mother had actually been looking for her too. Every year, she returned to this place, hoping to find her mother. She expresses her guilt that she doesn't even remember which restaurant her mother used to work at. Then all the lights in the park turn on. Aina apologizes to the Dr. Lee as she has now learned the truth that her parents and uncle were responsible too. She feels that in some way, she's responsible too, that she's a part of the puzzle. But the Dr. Lee tells her it's not her fault and Aina doesn't need to feel guilty. Aina tries to make her understand that nothing is ruined yet, that she still has a chance to live her life. But the Dr. Lee herself feels she has no reason left to live. She's done what she had to do. Aina still tries to convince her. At that moment, Kim arrives and calmly asks the doctor to surrender. But the doctor pulls out a lighter, sets the swing on fire, and despite Aina crying and begging her to stop, she walks into the burning swing. She screams and dies in front of both Aina and Kim, who are left watching in shock and grief. Then we see the captain asking Aina what the Dr. Lee had said to her. But Aina replies that she doesn't remember anything, showing us that her previous psychological episode has returned. The case is then officially closed. Aina returns home and locks herself in her room. Meanwhile, we see Young-ho's funeral taking place, where his close ones are present. Kim quietly apologizes to Young-ho, possibly indicating that he now understands why Young-ho did that. Later, Kim goes to Aina's house to check on her, but her housekeeper tells him that Aina has been locked in her room for several days and refuses to come out or meet anyone. Kim gives her coffee for Aina and then leaves. We see Aina lying on her bed, playing a game on her phone. Then she came out of her room and saw the coffee Kim had brought for her. Later, she submits her resignation letter to her senior. Her senior doesn't want to accept it, but Aina says that she no longer wants to continue. Her senior tells her that the resignation will be put on hold, so she can take some time to truly decide whether she wants to quit or come back later. Aina thanks her and leaves. Then, Aina goes to the same swing where the Dr. Lee had set herself on fire. Kim also arrives there and is happy to see that Aina has finally come out of her house. He tells her about a new murder case because he knows Aina enjoys solving mysteries. Aina quickly understands what Kim is trying to do as he's trying to bring her back to life, to what she loves. Then we see the two of them at Kim's home, where Kim's mother serves them food. Aina is now talking nicely again, and the two share a light, comforting conversation. Later, Aina also gives an interview to the press related to the case. During the interview, she is asked why she became a profiler. Aina replies that she wanted to profile herself to understand who she really was and also to find out the truth about her uncle. To do that, she deliberately put herself in the role of a suspect to try and uncover the identity of the killer. Some days later, we see Kim at a new crime scene. This case appears to be another strange one. The killer seems to be a psychopath, setting the stage for another intriguing mystery. The killer first slit the victim's throat and then stitched it back up, and Kim is wondering why the killer left the body here after killing them. Just then, Aina arrives and says, so that everyone can see it. She then starts profiling the new murder case, analyzing what kind of mindset the killer might have. Seeing her in action again, Kim is happy realizing that Aina is truly back to her work. The two of them begin discussing the case together, and while they're talking, Aina shows him another puzzle piece. And with that, the episode and season 1 comes to an end. From the way it ends, it seems like there could definitely be a season 2. Let's hope for the best and thank you for watching.